Yeah, on Spring Cypress and what now? Louetta, right there by Louetta. Yeah, she's. I think her husband wants to go get her right now.
I'm gonna close the door. I'm doing an interview.
We're here talking to two people that witnessed the incident March 26th. Uh, you're friends of Robert Gribbins and his wife Dosha.
Yes.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Kawasa Powers, Kawasi Powers.
And ma'am, what's your name?
Kobe, C-O-B-Y. Powers.
How long have you been knowing Robert and Dosha?
Three years about.
Okay. How would you describe Robert as a person as far as what's his temperament? You know,
I think he's a pretty funny guy. You know, he's pretty laid back, funny.
ever known to get into any kind of trouble, you know, as far as
In the 3 years I've known him, no. Or in
Okay.
that case, I wouldn't let him around me and my family, my children.
okay. You've got two children.
I have 3 kids.
Three. Okay. Uh, I'd like to go back to the night and get your statement as to what you saw, what you observed about the night. It was Dosha's birthday. You were invited to the birthday party. They had a big limousine, picked everybody up. You went down to the club called Candy. You got there, I guess, what, about 11, something like that?
Yeah, about.
11:30, something like that.
Everybody was having a good time. Now, when did you first notice something was going on?
When I heard Bobby's name being screamed, and actually what I saw is there was basically a group of people dragging somebody out, and I heard Bobby's name being screamed, you know, like in concern, you know, something happened is all I could really put together. So I grabbed the purses and I grabbed the jackets and I went to the door because I knew something was going on with him because I heard his name. And I saw the people, like, there was like a squad of people just like hovering over him. You know, they were like, I don't even know how many people in black shirts that, you know, from what I remember, just hovered over him. I couldn't even see Bobby, but I knew he was under that like hurdle of people, you know, so I knew he was under there, but I didn't know what happened, what was going on. I didn't know who these people were. All I know is Dosha was trying to tell him to stop, and then I stood back for a moment and I watched to see what's going on, and I saw her was like, stop, leave him alone, stop, you're hurting him, stop. And I went up to her, I was trying to calm her down. I was like, Dosha, just calm down, just calm down. And next thing you know, a cop came from behind her and cuffed her. Next thing I knew, she was in cuffs. I'm like, what? Why you have to arrest her? You don't have to arrest her. She's not doing nothing. And they looked at me like, you want to go too? And I was like, nothing I could do, obviously. You know, I was just trying to calm her down because obviously he's under this massive pile of people. You know, I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. It was mass confusion. Basically, I was confused. What happened?
From my vantage point, I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I had heard the same thing. And I was actually on my phone, and at the time, I seen a big crowd of people coming out, and I heard Bobby's name being called, and I got bumped by the crowd, lost my phone, and at the time, they drug him out, slung him down on the ground, and there was just a big swarm of people, and I thought he was getting jumped and beat by a bunch of guys.
Right.
So I ran up and tried to pull the guys off, and there was a police officer. He was just like, well, let him go. And I was like, all right, Bobby, just relax. You know, you just go, you know, we'll leave. We'll go to another club, you know. And from that point on, he was fine. I seen him in handcuffs. He was fine. He wasn't beat up, wasn't hurt or anything. I tried to calm everybody. I'm like, okay, you know, they got him in handcuffs. You know, we'll find out what it is and we'll bail him out and we'll go on with our lives. You know, and the next thing I know, when we get him out of jail, he was beat up. And so I was puzzled, how do he go from being in custody, fine, not being beaten, to being beaten when I seen him in custody in handcuffs. And so that's the only thing that I seen that I known. Because I know when we had left, when we had got into the limo,
I saw
he was
someone
fine.
being dragged like this, and I couldn't really tell. It was kind of dark, you know, because from where I was and then where the door was, it was kind of, you know, shadowy kind of. All I know is I saw someone being dragged like this, you know, like dragged out. So I knew Bobby's name was being, you know, said or screamed, and I was like, well, I couldn't tell if it was him or not, to tell you the truth. And then when I made my way outside, all I knew was from, you know, from when everything happened, I knew Bobby was under this, you know, this, like, I guess they were just kind of like a protective, you know, bubble over him. I don't know what was going on. I just couldn't see Bobby. That's all.
Did either of you see Bobby perpetrate or appear to cause the problem?
Not at all.
Okay.
No. And from what, you know, no, I didn't.
I mean, the interview with Bobby and his wife, everybody was having a good
We
time.
were having
It was
a
their
great
birthday
time.
party.
It was mostly couples. It was mostly couples.
It was,
that
yeah.
we all rode in a limo. I think it was only maybe
Two people that were
two
single.
guys that were single guys, but everybody else that was there, we was couple. Like me and my wife, Bobby and his wife, his sister and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
a friend of his, Paul and Paulina. You know, we was having a great time. You know. So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, any other comments? Anything you'd like to add to the situation as far as information, what you saw, what you observed?
No, I really,
I
the
think
one
you
thing
covered it very well.
one thing I just I would say is like, they arrested Dosha without even saying anything to her. Like, ma'am, could you calm down? Nothing. It was just arrest. They never said anything. They never said anything to her. Nothing. They just came up from behind, put her in cuffs, and she's like, who is this grabbing my arm? You know, and that's something that really bothered me. I'm like, wait a minute, you know? Why are they arresting her? She's trying to tell them to stop, you know, basically getting all over Bobby, you know, and trying to basically just tell them to stop, and they didn't say anything to her before they put the handcuffs on her.
Right.
I know that for sure. I was standing right next to her.
Okay.
So, I mean, other than that,
Basically, like I said, when I seen Bobby after they had him in cuffs, after they got him on his feet, he was fine. Wasn't no bruises, there wasn't no beating. I didn't see him struggling, resisting. Besides, you know, the first mass confusion of what's going on. You know, and like my wife said, I was outside of the club. I seen somebody being drug out. I don't know what happened on the inside of the club to cause them to drag him out, but from no matter what had happened, after they put him in handcuffs, he was fine. He was not beat up. He wasn't, you know, resisting or hurting anybody or, you know, trying to hurt a public servant or anything like that. Yes, we was all at the club. Yes, we had all, you know, had our shots and drinks, you know, rounds, you know, celebrating Dosha's birthday, but not to the point of somebody was belligerent and couldn't, you know,
be coherent to just, you know, let
somebody
it.
telling them to stop or, you know, pay attention or something like that. But
He's not really, you know, he didn't even know who the people were that
I didn't
got
either.
a hold of him. They came up from behind him. You know, from what I've been told, you know, the version that he and she had was that he was approached from behind and he didn't even know who they were.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, after I guess the confusion stopped, I'm sure he was like, well, okay then, you know.
But from the time I last seen him in handcuffs, he was fine. That's when I made sure everybody got into the limo, and then we was heading back out here to the house. We're trying to figure out how we're gonna get Dosha and Bobby out of jail.
Okay.
And the next thing we know is that Bobby got beat up and he supposedly jumped on a cop. And it didn't make no sense.
He was
Which
already in
didn't happen.
handcuffs. Yeah,
He
he
was
was
in
already in
handcuffs.
handcuffs.
He was
Okay.
in custody.
I think you both been very helpful. I appreciate your help, and I appreciate your factual account of the events of that night. So, with your permission, I'll go ahead and turn the recording off. And again, Kobe, Bossy, I appreciate your help very much.